Okay, because we have to make then the information. Information is like a planning and daily progress monitoring and the progress information. The output is the final product. So final product can be an apartment or any big building. So and the measurement parameters are quality, cost and delivery. So that is the output. So between this input and output, so there are some business inhibitors. So there are mainly three business inhibitors. So one is called waste. So there are 8 types of waste. So the second one is called inflexibility, and the third one is variability. So because of these three inhibitors, the expected performance and actual performance is much lower than the possible or the expected performance. Many times it is almost actual performance is 60% compared to the expected performance. So that is mainly because of these three inhibitors. Means there will be a lot of waste activity in the construction process. So then some flexibility is lost. So then there will be some variability. Variability like people variability. So all the people will not produce the same output. So there will be some variability between people, and the same time the quality. So sometimes there will be a good quality work. So sometimes there will be a issue in quality. So this is a part of variability. So all these three inhibitors makes actual performance much less than the possible performance. So this is one of the major reason for low productivity in construction industry. Now we will see why productivity was always higher in manufacturing industry compared to construction industry. So this is the assembly line of Toyota, this Ford assembly in 1940s. So when Ford started producing, so it was a mass production scenario. So mass production means same color produced in huge numbers. So there were less variation in color, less variation in variants. So same color was produced in a very large quantity. So that is how the line was set up for the Ford assembly. Then this Toyota, they went and saw Ford assembly. So they understood how the Ford was producing cars. And for Toyota, the issue was they were not able to produce such a huge volume. The demand was always less and it was a more variety. So they were not able to apply the same Ford system for Toyota. So they came out with some other system for a low volume and different variety of products. So here in the Toyota car assembly, so roughly there will be some more than 400 assembly stations. So for each assembly station, you can see in the bottom of the picture, operator is assembling in the assembly station. So the parts have to be supplied to this assembly station. So this is a one complexity. In the Ford production line, since they were doing the same type of car, same color, so the parts to be supplied for each station was similar. So there was no variation. But when it came to Toyota, so they were making a different colors, and you can see on the assembly line. So every alternative car, it is a different variant and a different color. So different parts was required to be supplied to the each assembly line. So that was the difficulty of Toyota production system. So they came out with a system to improve the productivity. So this Toyota, they started the system. The system is called Toyota Production System, or TPS. They started this in the during year 1950s, and till now, so almost for 70 years they are practicing it. And the same concept, it has been applied to the other manufacturing industry. So since the Toyota's benefited from this type of system, so the other manufacturing companies, they saw Toyota production system, and they started deploying. So they also got benefit from the Toyota production system. So that is why the productivity was in the manufacturing industry was much higher compared to construction industry. So having seen this productivity improvement in manufacturing and Toyota system, so then the two gentlemen, one is Mr. Ballard and one more person, they wanted to implement the same concept in the construction industry to get the knowledge of this Toyota production system. So in the year 1997, so this concept, Toyota production system, or it is also called lean, so that was started implementing in the construction industry. They wanted to spread this concept to construction industry. So these were the people who were pioneers and who developed the Toyota production system. So this Kiichiro Toyoda was the owner of this Toyota Motors. So then E.G. Toyoda was the next president after him. Then there was one vice president. He was called Taichi Oda. So he contributed a lot for Toyota production system, along with one consultant called Shigeo Shingo. So these two people developed the Toyota production system to the maximum extent. So from there, we started deploying to other places. And these two people were the pioneers for implementing lean construction. One is Mr. Glenn Ballard, another is Mr. Greg Howell. So these two together, they started an institute called Lean Construction Institute. So in 1997, so now there are many chapters in each country. There are chapters connected to Lean Construction Institute. So their main idea is to spread the knowledge of lean or the Toyota production system to the construction industry. So from last 20 years, so this concept is being implemented in the construction industry. So let us see how it works in the construction industry. So in the car assembly line, so there are more than 400 assembly stations. So in each station, the car or the chassis stops for 2.5 minutes. So in that 2.5 minutes, so operator has to assemble some 10 to 12 parts. So this assembly in 10 to 12 parts, it happens in all that 400 assembly stations. Then immediately it moves. So they have implemented the system in such a way that even if there is a one quality issue, then the entire whole line of production will stop and they have to rectify, then only it is allowed to move. So that is the level they have reached. So this is the complexity. So that means a car stops, that in 2.5 minutes, some 8 to 10 parts, it has to be assembled. So that is the accuracy involved. So you might wonder how that can help in construction. So there are many other type of mechanical equipment also. So you can see in the picture, there is one more heavy equipment. So these type of equipments are produced on the stationary place. So that means the initial frame, it is brought, and all other parts, including that hood, engine, all the parts are assembled to the chassis. So that is how it have, this is a stationary assembly. So for this kind of stationary assembly also, they have established a standard system. So like how long it should take, what is the sequence. So that is all perfectly standardized, all the type of activities. And this kind of equipments are produced against those standard, and any variation that will be analyzed in detail, and it will be improved for the next model. So that is how the same Toyota production system was established for the stationary assembly. So this civil construction also, it is exactly like a stationary assembly. So it will be, if we see about high-rise building, so it is on the same place. So entire things are assembled there. So assembly is like building column, pillars, structures. Then it is like assembly of blocks. So that is how the construction activity happens. So the concept, the lean concept was taken from this kind of assembly to the construction. So after seeing how it helped in manufacturing, so other sectors also started applying lean concept. Now the lean is applied in hospitals, in the retailing, banks, in the service sector, and restaurants, and also in the construction. Now let us understand what are the issues in construction industries. So from the data, it is it shows 30% of the construction work goes for a rework. So that means it is almost 2.5 to 3.5% of the revenue rework is done. Then 50% of the site time is unproductive. There are a lot of waste activity happens in the construction site. Then at least some 10% of materials are wasted, and 20 to 30% of delay compared to the scheduled time. Even though a lot of cushion was given during the estimation in the beginning, during the project estimation period, still the project gets delayed. And also the actual cost, budgeted cost is more by 20 to 30%. So these are all the main issues in the construction industry. So by applying lean, we can resolve these issues to a larger extent. So the objective of this lean construction is to improve the whole architectural, engineering, and construction. So all these three activities goes together. It is called AEC, architecture, engineering, and construction. And the ultimate expectation is to reduce lead time and reduce cost and improve quality. So like earlier I explained, so there are 8 types of major waste happens in the construction industry. So to remember that, it is called worm pit, plus one more added later. W is for waiting. That is the, you can observe, a lot of people will be waiting for instruction, waiting for material in the construction site. So next one is O for overproduction. So overproduction means doing activity which is not in the critical path. So that will unnecessarily occupy the resources, and what is on the critical path will not be done. So this may happen when some material is not available for the critical path activity. So people may do other activity. So then the third one is called repair or a river. The fourth one is motion. So motion is people moving from one place to another place. So for moving with the material or getting some information. So that is the motion waste. Then there is one over processing waste. So the one example may be painting, doing extra painting where only 3 coats are enough. The one more waste is called inventory. So that is the worm pit. So inventory is having more stock or having a stock out situation. So these are all the 7 types of waste. Then one more type of waste was added later. So that is called not utilizing people talent. So even though people have a lot of ideas, so companies do not use them. So this is added later, not utilizing people talent. This type of waste only, it will make a project cost overrun, then it takes more time, then the productivity is low. So this is one of the major contributor. This waste only is contributing to all those kind of inefficiencies. So the one more way of explaining is it is a downtime. So the downtime is that is worm pit. That is one way of remembering. Another way of remembering is a downtime. So easy to remember. This is an acronym for the same type of defects. Defect, overproduction, waiting, not utilizing people talent, transportation, inventory, motion, and extra processing. So these are all the some example of waste. There only heading was mentioned, like under defect. So there are some rework. Then we have a lack of communication. Then poor design. Then pricing or a costing error. Then unclear specification. Then like concrete, poor does not meet specification. Wrong material procurement. These are all the different types of waste which comes under defect. So similarly, same type of defect in office are data entry error, pricing error, missing information, then missed specification, lost record. These are all the different type of error in the office. So like this, there are a different type of micro waste happens in the industry. This is for just for an understanding what are the types of waste happens. So these kind of waste have to be eliminated in construction industry. So that is the purpose of lean. So those are all the different types of waste. Some examples are given. These examples are used in detailed training. So the another way of finding out the different types of waste is under 5M in any construction activity. So this is 5M refers to man, material, machine, method and management, then the quality, then safety. So this is too easy to remember. So when we say man, under man, these are all the different types of waste activity, like walking, waiting, searching, unnecessary movement, attempting too much. So these are all the different types. So when you recall man, so you can find out, okay, what are all the waste. This is easy to remember, then identify in the actual place and to eliminate. So like this, so there are different types of waste under different headings. So these are all the different waste. This is for a detailed understanding. Okay. So if we summary of all this type of waste, so data was collected, where 500 data points were collected, and it was plotted. So it shows that so 29% goes for a rework, and first 3 major wastes are rework, over processing, and waiting. So the first 3 waste goes up to 74%. So if we take care of these 3 wastes, So then we can increase the productivity to a larger extent. So again, okay. So now this graph, you will get a better idea why the productivity is low in construction industry compared to manufacturing industry. So all those things because of waste only. So that definition of lean construction. So that is it is way to design production system in construction production system to minimize waste of materials, time and effort in order to generate the maximum possible amount of value for all stakeholders. So like whatever waste we have seen, so those waste can be eliminated by applying the lean concept. So lean concept has been configured to construction industry. So these are all the different modules or the areas covered in the lean construction training and actual implementation. So till now we went through the concept of lean, so and how the different types of waste exist in construction. So then there are details, principles of lean construction, and there are different tools, manufacturing tools taken from Toyota production system. So these are all the different tools in the construction, like target value design, then waste elimination, then there is a planning system called last planner system. So this is the heart of lean construction. There is a pull planning, then information center meetings, 5S and visual management, standardized work, total effective equipment performance, built-in quality and error proofing, just-in-time, inventory management and Kanban, continuous improvement, then Office 5S and Kaizen, and BIM. It is called Building Information Modeling. So these are all the different tools which is customized to construction industry. By applying all these tools, so we will get a full benefit and the productivity can be increased. So I will going to explain some 2 or 3 tools, how it is being applied to construction industry out of these tools. So before going further, so these are all the different type of activity exist in construction. So we broadly classify as 3 types. One is called value adding, that is VA. Another is essential non-value adding, and the third one is non-value adding. So the non-value adding activity can be fully eliminated. Essential non-value adding activity can be reduced or can be eliminated. Value adding activity is the real activity required for doing construction activity where customer is interested to pay. So customer is not willing to pay for essential non-value added and non-value added activity. So but it exists. So we know this activity type like productive sheets, then cutting assistant. So he will be, most of the time he will be standing. So then some of the cleaning activity, mixing the material. These are all required for construction, but it can be minimized. And purely non-value adding activities are like people are many times idle because the site is so huge. It is difficult to monitor people. So some people will be just sitting and talking at some point. Some people will be sleeping, and then many people will be waiting for instruction or the material near the store. So these are all the different types of non-value adding activity. So all these activity have to be eliminated. So I will just show one case study where it has been implemented and many of this non-value added activity has been removed. So this was the one construction site where this concept was introduced. So left one was partially under construction. Right one was the final design. It was a G+8 apartment. So this was in Dubai. It was the company had turnover was like 1320 INR crores, and they had 20 sites at simultaneously. 20 projects were going on at different 20 sites, and they had an employee strength of 1800 company own strength. And there were other departments like tendering, costing, project planning, procurement, and HR at the head office for supporting the construction activities. So, and the different type of activity they were doing was residential apartments, schools, villas, warehouses, malls, and hospital. So this was the background of the company. And the issue was there was delay in the project. For the most of the project, it was getting delayed, and the penalty is very high in Dubai. So the penalty is put on a day basis. Every day delayed, so much of penalty. And the cost overrun was around 15%. So this 15% they used to lose in their profit, and there were a lot of quality issues. So because of these things, so lean implementation was taken up. So the main objective was it was to for the on-time completion of the project, then the reduction in this cost, and involving the total employee and the improved quality. So let us see what are all the benefits by implementing in that pilot project. So they were able, company was able to save 2.2 Indian crore rupees. So same thing was planned to implement in the 3 more projects. So this was the caption. So that was agreed by all the people to motivate people. So we build people before building buildings. So to motivate people, this was the caption agreed. And this is how it was implemented. I show some few tools. So this all the supervisory level. They will have a 4 months and different trade head. So they were giving training on what are all the different types of waste. So what are the types of waste, how to reduce. So that was the first step. Then they were asked to go and find out those type of waste in the actual their site. So they were made into teams, and they were sent to, like this is one of the team. So they were asked to go and take the photographs. So they came out and they made a presentation. So these are all some of the types of waste which exist in construction. You can see left side. These are the wooden plank which was removed after RCC was over, but the nails was not removed immediately. As per the SOP, they have to remove the nails immediately, stack all those wooden plank neatly so that it can be used in the next floor. But in a hurry, they used to remove all those things. They used to just leave the place. Next day, supervisor was required to allot some other crew to remove the nail. So this is one type of waste. So they have identified this as a defect. And the second one, here there are some called dowel bars. So that is to join two concretes. It is all twisted to both the sides. But when they do it uniformly, it has to be bent at one side, so that in future it will help in connecting the other steel bars. So now doing the rework, this is called rework, what I was explaining, rework. So there will be a lot of these kind of activity happens in the construction. So this is one of the type of defect. So left side, that is that gunny bag what they put. See, this is for curing, they put this, and it has to be immediately removed it and used elsewhere. They have left it as it is. So in the new area, they try to take and use the new cloth. So this is the how the material gets wasted. On the right side you can see some projection, wooden plank and as well as steel bar. This has to be cut before removing the scaffolding. So scaffolding is a big process. Just to remove this one, people just cannot just put the ladder and go and cut it. So scaffolding has to be erected, then it has to be certified by the safety people. Then only they can climb and cut it. So these are all the different type of rework happens. So this is all not estimated during the project. In project, they will go by what is the area and they calculate. So these are all waste comes in the actual process. So this will increase the cost. This will delay the project. Okay, right side you can see. So the one person is only working, the helper. Normally two people are given for as each gang. So the helper is standing and the other person is only working. So they saw this is one of the waste and they took some action to improve that. And right side you can see in the trolley, so two wheels or that one of the wheel is a bigger size compared to the other three. The right size was not available, so it is very difficult to use this kind of trolley, but they were using it. So you will find a lot of these kind of waste in the construction site. So left side, the one of the labor is waiting. He is waiting till the unloading is happening. So this is one of the waste, waiting, like I was explaining. So these are all the different type of waste. So they have kept a suggestion box. So they have not kept a pen there. So people, if they want to write something, they will not immediately find. So this is for one more type of waste. So these are all the different type of waste. So they have identified. So at the end, so whole that entire team were trained to make a presentation to the top management. So based on this type of waste. So then both the management as well as the supervisory staff understood the type of waste, how cost goes up in the construction activity, how it gets delayed, even though it was a big, I say it for eye opener for a top management. So they were not going into this kind of detail, how the wastes are happening. So then the team were made and target time were given to close some of these issues. Then they went and trained their workmen. So that is how this tool can be implemented. When we said waste elimination in construction activity, so this is the methodology to implement the waste elimination. So the first training should be given to top management and the middle management. So then they should get expertise in identifying and they should be able to implement it. So that is the one of the tool used in construction industry. Next, one more is called a Kanban. So this is for this is applied for the materials. This is applied to prevent stock out and excess inventory. You can see this. This was the consumable stores before situation. So very difficult to identify different item. If they want any one item, they have to search for the half day. And also there is no, since it is not kept at the one place, difficult to take the stock. These two were the problem. So these are all the different parts of a store. These are all the before situation. Then the training was given to the middle management group. So all were involved. These are all, one is a HR manager, another is a project manager, one more person is a lean champion. So 4 days, they were all made to full day work inside the stores. So all unwanted items were removed and arranged. This is the whole team. And you can see the same store after 4 days. So when all unwanted are removed, arranged neatly, and the Kanban. When we say Kanban, so this is how it is put. It is placed into 2 bins, and the cards are put so that once one bin is over, then the order is placed based on this card. So this is called Kanban system. So this was deployed to the other stores also, consumable stores. Then SOP is made. So this is how the ordering happens. So by implementing it, so their inventory accuracy went up, and stock out situation was minimized too much, and the extra inventory which was not required for this particular site, so it was removed and it was sent to other site. So that is how they were able to use that inventory also. So that wastage of material can be, this is how it can be attacked. So now we saw 2 different type of tools which has applied to different situation, and this is how the different activity looks like in the construction. So that green one is value adding, blue one is essential non-value adding, and the red one is waste. Of course, in the whole activity, it will be in between. It will not be continuous like that. Some activities only value added, next continuously essential non-value added, then non-value added. It is not that way. So it will be like this. So there will be some non-value adding, then value adding, again non-value adding, value adding. So once we remove all this non-value adding, so then we can improve the productivity. So I explained about 2 tools. Then one more key important tool. It is called last planner system. So this is the heart of lean construction. So this is a patented system. So this is how the last planner system works. See, in the beginning, this milestone planning is done. That means for the whole project, like if it is a 20-story apartment, so then what are all the milestones? Maybe excavation, then initial till first floor, then the structure building, so then the full structure, then block laying, so then the plastering, then painting, then interior work. So like that, there will be different major activities. So milestone is to be defined at the highest level. So the next is a phase planning. Once milestone is done, phase planning is the next. It is like a 10,000 feet. When you are flying in the plane, so milestone is from the view from the 30,000 feet, and phase schedule is from the 10,000. The phase is a detailed planning is done for each phase. Each phase is like a excavation is one phase. So in the excavation, so how much detail they can go, how many excavators are required, how many days it takes, so where to put those sand which is taken out of that. So like this a micro detail. So then the next level is plan called make ready planning or a look at planning. So this is the 6 week planning. After doing those 2 higher level planning, then the 6-week planning is done, so that nothing will be missed out. So the schedule, it will be done as per the estimation. The next one is called commitment planning. Commitment planning is a weekly planning where all the supervisors, they will commit. So what they commit for the whole week, almost 90% should happen. So that is why it is called commitment planning. And every day there will be a daily meeting, or it is called a daily huddle. So where they meet and check the plan against actuals, and any problem they'll improve so that it will not get repeated the next day. So this is the cycle. So this is called the last planner system. So this is the heart of lean construction. So this is the 5 different phases. So first one, they should do it. That means if the project period is 18 months, in 18 months, they should be able to complete. Then in the full planning is each phase wise, how long it will take. So this is the micro level. This is like a monthly plan or phase planning. So these are all the 5 types, what I have explained earlier. Then I will show how it was implemented. So this planning, the master planning, so normally they use a software called Primavera or project, Microsoft project. So this will have some 50 to 60 pages with a full line detail. So this is done much ahead of starting the project. So when they start the project, this dates will not tally. Starting date will not tally. So most of the time they will not be able to use this 50-60 page report that will just lie as a documentation. Then they'll start using the Excel. So what was suggested in the last planning is a simple visual system. So the left side is day-wise planning for 6 days. You can see the 6 column. And the right side is next 6 weeks. Like what I have explained. So that if they do it in a computer, it will lie only in the project office or with only some people. So when it is put on the board, all can see. Here daily meeting will be done in front of this, so that all the people will have the same idea and all people will going to contribute it. So why it is called a last planner is people who are the executioner. So this foreman or charge and they are the executioner in the whole hierarchy. So they commit the planning for the week. So that is why it is called the last planning system. See, this is the meeting happening in front of that. So this looks to be very simple. So making the people to come like this and stand in a semicircle, it was a Herculean task in the construction industry. So you can see here, these are all, each person is from the different trade. So many activity will be happening. So there will be a lot of confusion. So they will come and they will explain what is that they will do for the next 2 days and what is the help they want from the other team members. So many times when they can do their activity only when some other activities completed. So here it is discussed and they are going to put it here. The other person also they will commit. Okay, they will going to do. So this will bring a very good coordination among all the supervisory level. So this is how we can reduce those delay and the waste activity, whatever we have identified. So this is one of the very good tool. So the first one was waste identification. Then we have seen Kanban. So then this is one of the third one, last planner system. This daily meeting comes under last planner system. Then the quality. So in we have seen the figure. See, the quality is one of the big issue in construction. So now it is always people, they will go and check later. Once the construction activity is done, then the quality department, they go and check, then they identify, then it goes for a rework. Then there will be argument between the two departments. So there will not be many times the exact standard for the people to refer. So for all these things, that is the normal state of process. So wherever it is possible to prevent the defect, so that what we call it as built-in quality or foolproof system or Poka-yoke. So there are some methods available. I am just showing some example so that you will get an idea. So this is one of the tools that has to be implemented to get a bigger benefit. You can see here these type of nails are available in the market. So otherwise it is difficult for people to remember which is the longer nail, which is the shorter nail. They may use the wrong type of nail. Once they put it, once they notice that it is wrong type, then removing it takes time. So that will become a rework for this kind of even the nailing activity. So in the market it is available. You can just see here there are different color coding for a different length. So color coding is easy to remember. So this is one of the example for to prevent mistakes happening in the nailing activity, color coding. And also in the painting, so they will be continuously painting. So once they paint, and when they want to paint the next area, they will not be able to clearly visible which area is painted, which area is not painted. So if they can't make out, they will paint on the same area. So then there will be a thickness variation. So this is also one of the quality deviation. So for that, this paint industry, they have come out with a good innovation. So even though the white paint, so initially there will be a color in it. So while painting, so the painter can notice the color. So painting, it will take care. Just after 5 minutes, it will become white. So this is one of the Poka-yoke or error proofing system during the painting. I'm showing different example where applying this kind of method, they can reduce the quality, defects. And okay, so this is normally done in many places. If it is a high-rise building, then some surrounding area, then people should not move because of the safety aspect. So you can put a barricade like this caution. Okay. Then the one more simple, interesting method is this bolts. These bolts have to be tightened with a right type of torque. So it should not be loose or it should not be over tight. So how to find out whether it is a right torque given or not? So there are some washers are available. See the washers, there will be some liquid inside the washer. So when you put and start tightening, if it is loose, then the paint will not come out. Only for the right torque. So that comes out. So that the person who doing the activity, he knows that okay, so right torque is given. So this is one more improvement in the quality area. So this is again one more improvement or Kaizen. So many times the trolley, suddenly if it is a very heavy, the weight is very heavy in the construction, they use this for a bigger granite. So, and in the trolley, if by any chance if any of the wheel breaks, then the whole thing will break. So that is a highly expensive. So at the end, some rod is welded. So this is called dead man cart leg. So even in case this wheel it breaks, so the whole thing will not get tilted. It will just rest on the floor. So these are all the some of the example to improve the quality. When we said so much of uh, rework happens, so I am just showing some of the techniques. So like this can be applied to all type of civil activities. So by applying all these type of tools, we can get the benefit. So what are all the benefits? One is it reduces the waste. You have seen the above how waste can be reduced by involving people and training and applying waste reduction technique. And it saves money and reduces cost. We have seen last of wastages, how waste can happen. So we can save money, reduction in cost, then creates a higher quality. So now you have seen a lot of Pokayoki. So what needs to be applied is in all the normal place, people say that, okay, after construction activity, they go and check and they say this is not okay. People will do rework. So what is to be done is, if you say if we are implementing lean, how many Pokayokis are a foolproof method implemented in a week or by a department? So how many types of waste, how many points waste have been reduced? So these are all the new measures of lean. In the normal construction, okay, people will say we are improving, they may not measure. So these are all the measurement for lean. So improvement in safety, create flexible delivery systems. So by applying those last planner system, so the delivery can be made fast as based on the customer requirement. Then again the schedule. So by application of last planner, so the management will get a confidence of stable schedules. Then the reliable material deliveries. So this is that Kanban system. So what I showed is a few examples. So that can be applied for the all the materials for the construction activities, so that there is no delay or no stock out of the material, and also no excess inventory. So then they promote the employee participation. So one of the major concept of Toyota is, so it is the employee involvement, total employee involvement, and all this, whatever I explained above, all these things can be resolved or to be resolved only by involving the people. It is only the supervisors, just supervisor level cannot resolve it. So that entire workforce, if you have 1,000 workforce, all those 1,000 workforce to be trained, they should be involved, and all the problems should be resolved using them, like what I explained in the examples. Then it improves customer satisfaction, then the better teamwork. So these are all the benefit of the implementing the lean construction. So you have seen some tools. So once we implement it, all the issues in the company so can be resolved to a larger extent, and these are all the benefits. And ultimately, the major concept of lean is a cultural change. So that can be achieved by this. Then there is a called assessment. So you may ask, the parameters. Yes, there are different types of parameter. I am just showing one. This is for that one of the tools, eliminating waste and continuous improvement. These two are the tools. So are the standard practice in construction industry. For this, how do we measure? So the measurement goes to 5 levels. The first one is called awareness. Second one ad hoc. Third one is localized. Then integrated. Last one is the best in class. So when we say that we have implemented lean to the fullest extent, then in the each tool, so we should be able to identify that the company is in the best class. Otherwise, it may be at the lowest end, it may be in the level 1, or it may be level 3, or it may be level 5. So there are some kind of explanation and what evidence to looks are available to identify. I'll just read out the first level and the fifth level so that you will understand. This is for the recommended practice, eliminating the waste. So the first level, only aware, means few participants understand waste or know how to identify and eliminate waste. So like the example I showed, so if we train supervisory level, if we limit only that, then it is only the few participants. So they will do for some period and they will stop it. So that is the level 1, if it is only few participants. Then some are aware, some awareness of continuous improvement. So if this waste elimination is done continuously, then that is called continuous improvement. So if it is done partially, it is level 1. In the level 5, it is all participants practice waste elimination and prevention in project activity. So only if 90% plus employees are trained in this kind of waste activity, and if we have a figure, so many improvements are done and it is presented, so then we can say that it is in the best in class for eliminating the waste. So like this, for a different tools, for all the tools what I have explained, so we have a measurement factor. We need to measure it. From this only we can move it to the next level. So this is assessment for one more tool. So this is for a last planner system. So similarly, the level 1 and the level 5. In the level 1, only some limited knowledge or practice of last planner system. So this is what we need to go and see. Are they using last planner? If people have heard of last planner, have they implemented to what level? So if it is only to some limited knowledge, so it is level 1. No regular education on last planner system in place. If people are not given training, so it is on the level 1. Then the highest level is team activity plans to improve PPC. So this is the highest level. Their goal is 100%. So if they are achieving 90% and more, so that is the best in class. So this is how it can be measured for all the type of tools. So this is one of the called lean construction model. So this is how it works. It starts with the management philosophy. If you have to implement it, management has to accept the philosophy and the lean principles. So then there are different tools for implementation, like a standard work, value stream mapping, BIM, 5S, and visual management. And there are 2 pillars. So the bottom one is the philosophy, then the foundation, then there are 2 pillars. So pillars are, one is a just-in-timing. So this is where a last planner system is used. And the other one is a built-in quality. So the quality and just-in-time goes together. And we can achieve the highest value. We can provide highest value to all the stakeholders. So this is all the lean construction model. And all this theory part will be covered in our one-day course on the lean construction. This is on 19th. It is